Sorry. Fancy, huh? Well, a day without immigrants, who Trump's labor secretary is, and a class on fake news could be on its way to the Golden Triangle. You never know. These are the stories we're going to be looking at in our Top 4 and 4 countdown. Let's begin right now. Immigrants across the country stayed home from school and work Thursday to show how critical they are to the U.S. economy. Immigrants and supporters plan protests in Philadelphia, Boston, New York, Chicago, and other major cities. A day without immigrants comes in response to the Trump administration's pledge to increase the deportation of immigrants living in the country illegally. It's no surprise that restaurants are taking a stand against the Trump administration's immigration crackdown, which has led to an uptick in raids by immigration and customs enforcement authorities. An estimated 1.2 million undocumented immigrants work in food preparation and serving jobs in the United States. That according to a 2012 Pew Research Center data study. Now here's headline number 3. The Republican-led Senate voted Wednesday to block an Obama-era regulation that would prevent an estimated 75,000 people with mental disorders from being able to purchase firearms. The measure now goes to President Donald Trump, who is expected to sign it. The regulation was crafted as part of President Barack Obama's efforts to strengthen the federal background check system in the wake of the 2012 massacre of 20 young students and 6 staff at Sandy Hook Elementary School. The 57-43 vote to revoke the regulation sends the measure to Trump. The rule isn't scheduled to go into effect until December. Now let's check in on President Trump's transition team for headline number 2. Every recent president has had a doomed cabinet nomination or two, and President Donald Trump is certainly no exception. On Wednesday, Mr. Trump's choice for Labor Secretary, fast food CEO Andrew Puzder withdrew his name after Republicans expressed concern over his failure to pay taxes promptly on a former housekeeper who was not authorized to work. Democrats also complained about Puzder's business record and remarks about women and workers at his company. By the way, he owns Hardee's and Carl's Jr. Puzder was Mr. Trump's first cabinet-level nominee to withdraw. The president also ousted his first national security advisor, Michael Flynn, after just weeks on the job because Flynn wasn't truthful about his contacts with Russian officials during the transition. Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, and both Bush presidents all had to come up with new names after nominees for their cabinets ran into trouble yesterday afternoon, that is. Trump announced law school dean Alexander Acosta to be Secretary of Labor a day after his original pick withdrew. Now for headline number 1. Teachers from elementary school through college are instructing students on how to decipher fact from fiction when it comes to online news after an election season that saw made-up stories abound. Well, I've researched some of their lessons just in case you are confronted with a story that you aren't sure is real. Well, one lesson being taught if you're looking at an online news story, look at the URL of the website. The .com ending is always a red flag, and when in doubt, click on the contact and about links on the website to see where they lead. A major news organization probably isn't headquartered in a home. Here's a second lesson. Does it make you mad? Well, false reports often target emotions with claims of outlandish spending or unpatriotic words or deeds. Now, if common sense tells you it can't be true, well, it may not be. And if it's real, other news sites are likely reporting on it. Also, look at how it's written. Caps lock and multiple exclamation points don't have a place in most online news stories. Be sure to Google the name of the author for clues to see if they are legitimate or not. It might be satire. Sometimes foolish stories aren't really meant to fool. And always think twice before sharing any piece of information on social media, because everyone can be a publisher nowadays. And so after doing a little research on fake news, I decided to do a little digging for examples of what a fake news article looks like. So this is what I found. The headline read, quote, Obama signs executive order banning the Pledge of Allegiance in schools nationwide. And guess what? Not only is it false, but according to the Associated Press, it got shared on Facebook more than 2 million times. The fake news article came from abcnews.com.co. So again, be careful what you post. And what's certainly not fake, this commercial break. We'll be right back after this.